Let's now try to get reactions on this latest confirmation of charges hearing for President Duterte. We have with us tonight lawyer and Akbayan Party List Representative, Congressman Chel Diokno. Good evening, Congressman. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I guess, first off, what did you think so far? I haven't spoken to you at all this week, so I'm not sure, if you've been following close. I guess you have been following closely the confirmation of charges hearing, but overall, what did you think of the prosecution's defense? What did you think of the defense's arguments as well?
First of all, it's very heartening to see the whole process happen, especially for the victims of the war on drugs. Since day one, I've been in touch with hundreds, if not thousands, of victims of the war on drugs. And all that they want really is justice, their day in court. And it's nice that this is happening and that they're being given an opportunity to have their chance of justice before a court that we know is competent, that is fair and neutral and cannot be influenced or bought. And that's exactly the reason why we joined the ICC, is to ensure that victims of war, crimes against humanity and other heinous crimes can get justice.
You're also a lawyer, Congressman. What did you think of the defense's, some of the allegations that the defense made? For example, that it wasn't, that the death rate was only about 3% when you compare it to the total operations during the anti-drug war campaign. I think 3% equates to about 5,000, a little over 5,000 cases, a little over 5,000 dead in this case. And then secondly, the fact that he was trying to argue na, these are drug users or pushers, hindi to general attack on a civilian population.
Well, it's really something that we've heard before. It's a tune that they've been playing for a long time. I think the prosecution has done a very good job laying out the evidence, and the defense has made a lot of noise. But in my opinion, that's about it. In terms of the numbers of those killed, even here, it became very clear early on that that number has reached over 20,000. In 2018, in the Supreme Court case that we filed questioning the war on drugs, the Supreme Court itself, in an extended resolution, citing an Office of the President report, this is an official report coming from the Office of the President, at that time President Duterte, put the figure at 20,322 killed in the war on drugs only in the first 17 months. That is from July 2016 up to the end of November 2017. And this figure cannot be disputed by the former President Duterte because the numbers came from his very own office.
20,323, that's a lot. 322 only in the first 17 months. Pero sir, yung backbone ng argument ng defense is essentially that he never issued direct orders, right? And the fact that the rogue police officers on the ground interpreted to neutralize, the phrase to neutralize, to mean to kill, should not be on Duterte daw, is what the defense is arguing. There were never direct orders anywhere, and Attorney Kaufman said there's no one demonstrable incident where they could link Duterte's words to a death. What did you think of that part?
I think that's a baseless argument. That's an untenable argument. Because if you compare the instructions given in Command Memorandum Circular 16-2016, which operationalized the war on drugs, if the Duterte government wanted to limit the actions to what is strictly neutral, they did not have to use the term neutralize. Because we already have legal words for arrest, we already have legal words for prosecute and punish. But when you give instructions to the police not only to arrest, not only to prosecute, but to neutralize, you are giving them the leeway and the space to interpret that in any way they want, because there's no legal definition for neutralize. Now tell me, what reason could they have for including that term? if all they intended was for the police to stay within the law. It would have been so simple for then PNP Chief, now Senator De La Rosa, to say, hulihin ninyo yan, ikulong ninyo, at sampahan nyo ng kaso. Pero pag dinagdag pa nila yung utos na i-neutralize ninyo yan, kasama sa neutralize yung pagpapatay. Neutralize could also mean to prevent them from making harm against the police attackers, but it does not have a legal definition. And therefore, when you make a command like that, plus all your public statements encouraging killing, attacking human rights, saying that human rights mean nothing, and saying to the police that I will defend you, I will give you immunity, I will pardon you, what else, what other conclusion can we arrive at?
Well, Attorney Kaufman was making the case that neutralization officially under the Duterte administration meant self-defense daw if the police officers' lives are put in danger. Yes, the definition might also include capture, surrender, or other ways to subdue the suspect. Pero yung hanggang dun lang daw, sir, which is, okay, if it comes to it, in self-defense, if your lives are put in danger, then yes, you can kill. Hanggang dun lang daw.
Kung gano'n ang ibig nila sabihin, ba't hindi nila ginamit ang salitang self-defense? O di kaya, ba't di nila dinefine ang neutralization mismo sa circular? It's not defined there, and they don't say you can only neutralize when there is an attack on your life is in danger. Wala namang ganun eh. So I cannot accept that argument.
What did you make of the prosecution's both the closing statements today as well as the submission on the merits on days 1 and 2, which is Monday and Tuesday earlier this week? You've been, following this case for a very long time. Not just following, but actually lawyering for, I believe, some of the victims as well, right? Did they cover everything that they should have done?
As far as the prosecution is concerned, I believe they did a very thorough job, and I believe that they were able to lay the case out very convincingly.
Okay. And finally, sir, if I could just pivot. I know I've only got 10 minutes with you. I wanted to ask you something, but not related to the confirmation of charges hearing today. But of course, this week there were allegations that came up that the ICC prosecutors, sorry, not prosecutors, the investigators that came to the Philippines were quote-unquote wined and dined daw, and all at the expense of former Congressman Zaldi Ko, and also some lawmakers at that time were bribed, including one name that came up was Congresswoman Laila de Lima. What did you think of those allegations?
Well, first of all, the person who made those accusations, the lawyer, binawi po niya yan. Sabi niya, nagkamali daw siya when it comes to, at least when it comes to Kong Laila, which to me is a red flag. And to me, what should be investigated are the people who are behind that affidavit, and even the basis and how that affidavit came to be. We have to stop making irresponsible accusations, and when these kinds of accusations come out, they must be investigated, and the people behind it must be held accountable.
Actually, we spoke to former Congressman Mike Defensor a day after we interviewed Attorney Baligod. Sabi ni Defensor that hindi naman daw nagkamali including Congresswoman De Lima, nagkamali lang because at that time that she allegedly accepted bribe or envelope or a paper bag of money, she wasn't congresswoman yet. Yun lang yun yung qualifier that former Congressman Mike Defensor threw in to this, so which is a little bit more confusing as well for all of us.
Yeah, you got that right. You hit the nail on the head. Ang dali kasing mga tuwiran eh. But once you start making excuses, they catch up with you.
Fair point. Okay, we'll leave that there. Salamat, sir. Thank you so much for talking to us tonight and sharing your insights. Akbayan Representative Congressman Chel Diokno.